Well, hello and welcome back to Heslop Tech Talk Live. We're a little squirrely today, starting a little late. I'm on 4 hours of sleep, so I'm feeling great. IV of coffee here, but it's doing well. Hope everyone is doing well out in Techland, wherever you are. Josh, Jeremy, how you feeling? How you doing?
Doing awesome.
I'm feeling awesome.
Ready to talk some tech?
Ready to talk some tech and talk. Josh,
Yep.
why were we up so late last night?
Well, we were playing some Fortnite, having loads of fun with Epic Games Fortnite. It is a co-op zombie horde mode, build your base, protect your base kind of thing. So
Yeah, 1 a.m. I'm like, this is fine. I know I have to get up at 5. This is fine. As like everything burning around me. This is fine. Totally fine. But
it
no,
happens.
it's fun because you like need that one more material to upgrade a weapon or that one more thing to upgrade your hero, and you're like, we'll just do one more mission, just one more. And then
The loot grind is real, and then you've got so many things to upgrade and heroes and squad members and guns and traps, and so
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, but that's not talking tech. But where can they watch a stream of that, Josh?
YouTube.com/Josher14.
Yeah. And
Right here.
yeah. And Jeremy, what do you got going on in your Techville?
Yeah, so check out OmniTechPro.com and the YouTube channel OmniTech Pro. We got some cool tips and tricks coming for you for business owners and building your business IT strategy.
All right. Well, moving right along, Jeremy, what kind of iPhone action do you have happening over here? What's happening?
So we got a couple leaks that came out recently. Let me pull them up here. Apple basically has been
Bring it on down to Fawcettville.
Exactly. Has been working on their home pods and, all the pods of the home, and involving a lot of their new stuff that's come along. And so somebody at Apple decided that it would be awesome to share one of the internal builds on one of their public servers, and the link got out. And so a bunch of people downloaded the link thinking that they were getting the latest beta for the HomePod. And sure enough, it had all of the debug code and all of the information that was normally for developers of Apple internally and not for the general public, especially
that guy done goofed.
So the person that I guess his name was Schroten Smith or somebody, but he found a bunch of interesting things about the iPhone 8. One of them being that, yes, the little like full screen with the little teeny dip down for the speaker is true. That's the actual front page,
That's for real
front screen design with the status bar there. They're going to be tap to wake. Pretty much almost 100% guaranteed there will be no Touch ID. At least it could still for some reason pop up on the back or a side or some other kind of weird thing, but they're pretty 100% sure it's not going to be under display version. They're almost 100% sure that there's going to be face detection, so it'll be with the infrared that's going to be in there will be called Face ID or something like that, because there's lots of stuff in the codes that comes up.
They love their IDs.
Yeah. Other cool thing that's supposed to be happening is both front and back 4K 60 frames per second video is going to be supported, which will be a welcome upgrade to the very measly front-facing camera that's typically not even like 1080p.
1080p 30.
Yeah, maybe some of the new ones are, but some of the older phones didn't, like the SE and stuff. So that'd be good to have 4K on both of those. And I guess there's probably a couple other things that happened, but those were the ones that were big for me that I was thinking about. There's lots of interesting things that came out of that whoopsie. So it wasn't leaked from anywhere else in the world. Apple did it.
Yeah, crazy. Well, to piggyback along that, Apple's not the only one that's going to be making buco cash off their new device because Samsung's actually making all of the LEDs for this. That's right. They are switching over to OLEDs for the new iPhone, and they started production on them ahead of time already. So normally their suppliers were making 15,000 panels per month at their manufacturers. They're upping it to 105,000 panels to keep up. That's a production spike of 700%. Craziness. Wow. So like right now they can produce 130 million 5.8-inch OLED displays. So we're not sure exactly the displays, but it's looking like it's going to be a 5.8-inch bezel-less design with that cutout for the camera on the top there. And you said the iris scanner face detect, which Samsung already has the technology for that. I wonder if they're just going to bundle it with the face detect software with the LEDs, OLEDs, and just profit money bags over here and make more billions and billions.
It's possible. The Samsung did not have an infrared, though, I don't think, right?
It had an iris
I think
scanner.
Apple's. Yeah, it had an iris scanner, but it was just with the camera. It wasn't with an infrared.
Was it really? I thought they had a separate sensor, but I could be wrong.
It could. It could.
No,
be.
it's a separate sensor. Yeah.
Because they really pushed face detect. It was a big deal.
Well, face is different than iris.
No, I mean iris. They really pushed it. That was their big thing because what they said, they put the fingerprint scanner on the back in such a crappy position that they were like, please use the iris scanner. It's better. Like that was their whole thing.
I know the face detection for the Samsung one was easily broken. I didn't know it had an iris scanner in their new phone. So
we'll get our interns to fact check that real quick. Get right. Yeah. Exactly. No. Get on it. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, moving right along. Any other thoughts on that iPhone? I mean, it's a 5.8-inch and bezel-less, pretty much like the S8. I mean, that's looking super nice.
Yeah. It'll probably only have 3 colors, is what they're predicting: black, black back, white back, and then a black back with a silver ring around it, like the original iPhone. Will have like a throwback.
I like that. This to me is finally their hardware is going to be awesome. The 7 and 6, were okay, but bezels just I hated it, and so this looks like it's going to be a fighter, and Samsung's going to have to come out swinging next year, 2018, if this is what the new iPhone is going to be. But I'm excited. I'm excited to push the market, and it'll be fun. And I mean, I'll have less things to make fun of iPhones for, but no, it'll be good. I'm glad that it's happening. Well, moving right along, speaking of that Fortnite gaming, you really need to push the pixels to make it strong and good, Josh. What's possible now?
Well, of course, Linus Tech Tips is always pushing the boundaries of what they can do with gaming. Their last holy bleep gaming video was with 8K gaming, where they had 4 4K displays, and now they have done 16K gaming. So Ars Technica covered the story, and I'm going to share it here with y'all. So the video's on YouTube on Linus Tech Tips if you haven't already seen it. Gaming at 16K resolution. Holy shnikes. So what they did, they used 16 4K monitors, the Asus, no, the Ace, I think it was the Asus, but it could have been Acer. No, it was Acer Predator XB1. And if you want one of these monitors, you're going to need, let's see here, $599 per one. So they use 16 of those. And money. Yes, so they had 4 Quadro P5000 video cards, which are not for consumer level gaming. They're just for,
for this
kind of stuff. Well, they actually have a sync card.
That's for computing.
Yeah, they actually have a sync card called using the Mosaic technology for basically doing huge scale displays and stuff like that, so they can stitch all these displays together.
Right.
And so the graphics cards for these graphics cards alone would cost $10,000.
Yeah, easy.
Including
Quadras are expensive.
the Quadra sync card that ties them all together to run a single image across 16 displays. And so then they had a custom-made computer desk by IC Table that had a 4x4 grid. So the total display size runs 94 inches by 53 inches, or 108 inches diagonally. And they said the monitor setup drew 1,100 watts from the wall, required 240 feet of DisplayPort cables.
Wow.
And then they had the build with an Asus Rampage 5 motherboard with a 6900K in there, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. And they tried it in the first video and it failed because they had cabling issues. So they bought all new cables. And so basically what they did, they played Minecraft, which ran great, of course, and Half-Life 2, which also ran really well.
Also ran great, yeah.
But
Civilization 5.
Yes, they ran Civ 5, 20 frames a second, and then they tried Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was chugging, and they also tried Shadow of Mordor, which refused to work at all.
I was going to say that's a pretty solid game.
Yeah, so, but basically, you can check it out online as Tech Tips, and you can pick up one of those Acer Predators for 600 bones. It's pretty wild. So the video is actually pretty entertaining, and like he's having to like completely like
lean all the way back. And neck strain from it.
Yeah. So I don't know understand why he just didn't like completely pull back and use an Xbox controller. Itself. Yeah, I don't know, but
I can imagine their electric bill each month. They probably get a call each month that like, did you guys really use that much? Like,
right.
What did
20 megawatts?
they have a whole server room, so I mean they're just
I'm sure they're chugging.
With. Yeah, crazy stuff. Well, speaking of leaks, like earlier, this is the month of the phablet and the month of the leaks because we see some leaks from iPhones, and we're not disappointing on the Android side because Note 8 and LG V30 had huge leaks this week. EvLeaks is a big leaker, well-known leaker, and the official final renders for the Note 8 are here. So nothing surprising here, but it is the horizontal cameras and not the vertical cameras that were in some renders. I kind of liked the vertical a little bit better, but the horizontal looks fine. It's basically just a bigger S8, not surprising. It is a different aspect ratio, though. I don't think it's the 18.9. So it's a fatter aspect ratio. That's how it's going to be bigger. It's not going to be. I think it's a 5.8 or 6. I ought to have to actually have the specs here somewhere. It's 6.3 inch display, and then I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, they're talking about the aspect ratio somewhere, but
is it just 18 by 9 and so it's more?
I'm not sure if it's 18 by 9. I think it's bigger. I need to look that up real quick. But yeah, I'm excited for it. 3,300 milliamp hour battery. I was hoping for a 35, but the usual dual lens, 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage. So, I mean, it's looking fresh. I mean, it's looking good. See, this was the old leaks with the vertical. I think it was a little sleeker, but then you didn't have a fingerprint sensor on there. So who's using it anyway, you know? but yeah, so EvLeaks went and dropped that. See, when it rains, etc., because he had a bunch of leaks in a row. So to combat that, LG V30 said, we can't let Samsung have all the fun. So it is confirmed that it will be a 6-inch full vision OLED panel for the V30. It's going to look something like this. with these interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna have this crazy color gamut, full vision 2.1 or 2:1 full vision ratio, 6 POLED. So what's the difference between a POLED? I don't actually know. But it's a 1.6 aperture, which says it's supposed to be the brightest phone aperture yet for LG at least. Will be waterproof and still have a hi-fi quad DAC. Money, come on. So it should go on sale the 15th. It'll be released, some video, and the release of it September 1st, and then September 28th in the US. So it's interesting. It's there's a lot of stuff happening here with these two. The 2:1 with this. Did one of you guys get a chance to look up to see about the Note 8, what aspect ratio it is?
The Inquirer.net is saying still 18.5:9.
Okay, so it is. Okay, so yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it looked like the same aspect as the S8, just
but it's saying a 4K display.
Yeah. That would be nice.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's right.
Well,
19.5:9. Does that sound right?
Let's look at
what S8
Forbes.
is.
Yeah,
Forbes is
but
probably
anyway.
right.
All that aside, that's not the crazy stuff. It's really just the design is confirmed here. We got what it's looking like, not that one. It's the other one here. But this is the final design for the Note 8. This is looking like what the design is going to be the V30. This was an engineering sample. But the biggest part is that they know now what the actual display is, a 6-inch display, where the Note 8 is a 6.3. So different sizes here, but we'll see what they come in at. I don't know. This is two animals here. You're gonna get that quad DAC with the V30. It's sounding like you're gonna get a lower aperture with the V30. But what type of design do you want? With the Samsung's design language or the V30. So I'm excited to see what each of them has kind of in store. There's not too much they can leak at this point, but there's obviously going to be some software features they're going to show and some other things. Do you guys have any more thoughts on these and what it looks like here?
I mean, 2 weeks on the Note 8, and when does the LG V30 come out?
It's late. It's coming out
late August
28th, and so Note 8's coming out first.
August 20th, or they're announcing it August 20th, but they're probably going to be like, pre-order it now and get it in 2 weeks or something like that.
Well, this one says they're going to announce it August, but it's coming out the 15th. They're coming out. Oh my goodness! So
September 15th.
15th for both of them. It's coming out. V30 says it's coming out on the 15th in Korea, and Note 8 says it's coming out. The release will be on the 15th.
Wow. August or September?
September.
Okay, yeah, so they're waiting for the Apple event to happen, and then they decide to come out.
Come buy our phone.
Ride the wave.
Yes, and guy, as far as we can tell, both of them are going to have headphone jacks. So, which isn't to say for other companies that we'll talk about in a bit, but you're right, exactly. So Jeremy said polymer OLEDs. Is there a big difference between that? Is there a quality difference? I don't know displays that well.
It just said larger instead of small little teeny OLED, because OLED is the I think it's similar. It's just used for bigger devices, I think.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's both of those devices are going to be incredible. So I'm excited for that, and they're going to be high-end price and craziness when it comes to that. But awesome. But speaking of high-end price, the opposite end, Jeremy, what kind of device do you got That's 4K action camera on the cheap.
So we're
we
going
got?
we're going low, like low budget, low budget. If you've been looking for a GoPro Hero 5 and you're like, I would like to buy one. These are awesome. And you go see the price and you have a heart attack, you're not alone. I just saw on BGR, they were showing about one of the 4K action cameras for $64. And you might think, okay, well, it's got to be crappy, right? There's nothing in it. Well, this isn't so bad. It's 4K at 25 frames, so it's not full 30 or 60 or 120 like maybe the Hero 5 has. But you know, you're getting 4K, you're getting 3K at 30 frames, 1K at 60 frames, 720p at 120, so you can get some decent, you know, high def at slow-mo. And it comes with a decent wide angle lens. The interesting thing about this that I thought was pretty good for $64 off Amazon was that all the crap you get with it. 2 batteries, a remote control, the underwater camera, a bunch of attachments for bikes and helmets and
Awesome.
cars and everything else. The USB charger, straps and zip ties and all kinds of things. And it has an iPhone and Android Wi-Fi connection, so you can actually see your stuff live just like you can with a bunch of other action cams. And you know, has your micro SD speaker, all that stuff. Waterproof up to 30 meters. I think with just the camera itself, and then you can use the waterproof enclosure for even deeper water. But you know, for $65, $64 with free shipping on Prime. So, you know, anybody looking for you know, just to get an action cam, go out there and have fun. I say this is perfect because you don't have to, you know, put a huge investment in there. Or if you get a you know, like one of the opters, little drones or something like that, and you're like, well, it supports a GoPro. Well, you can just get one of these $65 ones and not have to worry about a $300 or $400 investment flying off into the ocean or or going into a lake or a stream or something like that when you're trying to get some action shots and things like that. So so I thought it was really cool. I was thankful BGR kind of let me know that there's some out there, and apparently they're not the only one. There's about you know, G-Spun, DB Power, some other interesting knockoff of GoPros that are out there that are also 4K. But BGR's, it looked like they said that this one, and that was relatively cheap. So just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention and let you know that there are options. It does come with 2 batteries, which is kind of cool. And it does about 90 minutes on each battery.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome. So the quick clarification, it does look like it is still 18.5 by 9 on the Note 8. And it'll just be a little bit taller. Here's a side-by-side comparison of it versus the S8,
Yes.
S8 Plus. So this is what it'll look like side by side. It's a little taller, a little wider, and boxed edges so that it's a little easier maybe to do drawing and taking notes and stuff like that. So it might be a little harder to hold in the hand because it's a little wider from the bigger screen, but it'll be the same ratio. So just a little bit bigger overall.
As long as it's not any wider than the Note 7 was.
It shouldn't be because it's a thinner ratio, so it's not 16:9.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be thinner in the hand, easier to hold, but not as much real estate width wise. So you know, those are the things. I like 18.5 by 9, but I don't know if it's my favorite ratio. I'm not the target market for that though. It's for people with smaller hands that can't reach the sides. I don't have any issues with the full 16 by 9 and be able to reach a full amount of the screen because I have these gorilla hands. But you know, it helps a lot of people with usability. It's still hard to hit the top of the screen because it's so tall. It's actually harder to the top of the screen, but left to right, it's easier. But cool, yeah. The action camera looks great. I mean, did they have any video samples, Jeremy, at all, or were they just showing?
Yeah, they had a video on BGR, I think, but I didn't get to watch the whole thing. So
okay. Hey, if that's especially great. I can see it giving it to your kids, like a high school or middle school kid,
Yep.
taking it to camp. You know, you're not worried about a $300, $400
Oh yeah,
GoPro.
getting stolen.
Yeah, exactly.
60
Yeah,
bucks.
$65 is almost like knee jerk, you know. I mean,
When I go to Young
Yeah,
Life
it's
camp,
just like
you
chuck
spend
it.
that much at McDonald's nowadays.
when I go to Young Life camp, the zip line at Rockbridge, they say probably once a week a kid drops his GoPro into the lake.
Into the water.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So they scuba dive like once a summer or twice a summer and clear the bottom of stuff because
Action cams.
they're all over the place. Some are still alive when they pull them
Wallets,
out. Most of them aren't because they were in
jewelry.
Heslop. But yeah, it's
Have you guys seen a YouTuber called The Almighty?
I've seen a couple that go the rivers and scuba dive.
Yeah, so he finds GoPros and iPhone 7s and all kinds of stuff. And
Wow.
I'll post his YouTube channel and the thing.
Was that the same guy that found a dead? He found the ashes.
The
of
remains of somebody. Yeah, exactly. He's been on the top like
trending.
once or twice on trending. Yeah, but he actually has taken GoPros and like looked at the photos and stuff on there and said if you know this person has actually found the people that live around in his area and is giving them the GoPros or the phones back or whatever. So
yeah, he's got a cool channel.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Nice. Well, let's switch gears here and talk about Threadripper. Well,
it power 16K, Josh?
Hey, it could definitely do that. AMD's Ryzen Threadrippers finally out. Well, not out, but they're finally giving them to reviewers to do unboxings and show off this kind of stuff. So this is from PC World. Gordon Ma-ung is the editor there and wrote this article about it. So basically, this CPU is huge. It's huge. So basically, it comes in 3 different models. The 1950X, which we talked about the 1950 and the 1920X last time. The 50X is $1,000. The 20X is $800. But there's a third one now that they announced is the 1900X, which will only have 8 cores, 16 threads, just like the 1800X. But it will also have a higher base clock, I think of 3.8 with 4 gigahertz boost speed. It'll also have 64 PCIe lanes instead of, I think, maybe half that on the 1800X. And quad channel DDR4, and it will be on the same Threadripper socket, the TR4 socket that is incompatible with the Ryzen chips. So if you wanted to go cheap on Threadripper, you can get the 549 8-core, and but you'll still get all the PCIe lanes. So
nice.
And it says they'll be available on July 27th. For the 1950 and 1920. The 1900 is coming out on August 31st, so you got to wait about a month. And they said both parts 180 watt TDP, and they'll support up to a terabyte of RAM when you use 128 gigabyte DIMMs. Wow. But here's the unboxing from anontech.com, and this is what they gave them. This huge Pelican case, and the boxes. These don't. The pictures don't do it justice. They're huge, so about the size of your head. And then they gave them also a
cool, like little unit. I like what the unit looks like. I've seen them.
Oh yeah, they gave them a paperweight, but it actually had a CPU, an actual CPU in there, and yeah, overly padded secondary box, of course. So that's actually what you get for retail. So it shows you how to unbox it, and they said they had a crap of a time getting it open. So, but it actually is supposed to use that little orange housing to throw it into the actual. Let me get down to the actual picture of the. Yeah, it still has the little orange tab when you put it in the motherboard. So, so I guess you don't screw it up at all. But I mean, there's not that many. There's the little chips down at the bottom in the middle, but there's no actual pins to screw up, which is nice. So so yeah, and then I wanted to also cover really quick. They also announced RX Vega. Finally, they have 3 SKUs: the $499 RX Vega 64, the $399 RX Vega 56, and then the liquid cooled version, which is $599 on the 64. So, and there's a little bit of the specs here. So the liquid is $699 actually, and I'm not sure what the difference in price is with the $499 and $599. Oh, okay. So they actually included a bundle which included 2 games for an extra $100, and they also gave you some coupons on like Ryzen CPUs and like a motherboard, but they were like pretty expensive. So so yeah, but comparing it to the previous 64 compute units, the R9 Fury X, which was $650. This basically has a higher boost clock, and it has faster HBM2 memory. It has a lower memory bus, but it does have twice as much VRAM, 12.5 billion transistors as opposed to 8.9. And here's the kicker. Look at that board power. 345 watts for the liquid, 295 for the Vega 64 regular, 210 for the 56. So that 64, man, you're going to need like a full-on air conditioning unit just for your graphics card. So that's pretty wild. But yeah, so just wanted to throw that out there if you were looking to go full bore AMD. That's
ready.
pretty wild. So all right.
Nice. Jeremy, you back with us now here?
Yeah, apparently my wireless internet decided to
crap for crap.
Crap out on you.
To go to the wayside.
Well, speaking of things that crapped out a little bit, have something made a return from Google? What happened?
It did. So maybe, you know, back in the day in 2013, you remember something called the Google Glass. It was, you know, everybody wanted one. They wanted to look like the walking around cyborg and act like they're recording, you know, every person that's walking along, and people were slapping the glass off of people's faces because they were like, privacy, privacy. Well, it definitely it definitely got dark for a while. They stopped a lot of the development and acted like it was getting a little pushed under the wayside with the Alphabet company, as it were. But it has come back, and it has come back with quite an interesting spin because it is now mostly enterprise. Surprise, surprise, Google is enterprise. Google Glass, the Google Glass, the $1,500 price of entry includes a better camera. It actually has a little light on there, which they were poo-pooed about before. So when it's recording video, it has a little light. And it has a better processor, more memory, et cetera, and so forth. But already seen a 15% increase in their chain efficiency because of the overlays apps that they've been using with Google Glass Enterprise. So it's kind of interesting that they pivoted that way and have had people now using Google Glass over the last year or two, and since 2015, and it's actually helping companies that are working with their hands a lot that need to have something, a visual display, heads-up display type thing. So I just thought it was interesting because, you know, but manufacturing, field services, healthcare, stuff like that are actually using it in the field to make stuff happen. They can apparently now they can also attach it to regular glass frames like goggles and sunglasses and prescription glasses, so you don't actually have to have the glasses that they had before. You can use it with the regular pre-built glasses. And
that look
yeah.
like Folkleys. They look like Folkleys.
This one's do, yeah. They have other styles, and you can get them attached to other things. But I had a moment of weakness in 2013-14 timeframe where I got one in and then sent it back too because it was too much money. I had it in my hands, opened up the box, and then sent it back.
Did you actually try it on though, or try it like turn it
No,
on?
I didn't even bother with it. Yeah, I was just like,
Oh,
no, I didn't turn it on because I didn't want them to like say, "Oh, well, you turned it on, and no, we cannot take it back." So,
Carla struck.
She struck. She said, "You just paid how much on that?" No, they're going back.
The things that could have been.
Yes,
you could have had something really awesome for like a year, and then it'd be irrelevant.
Yeah, I could have developed, some enterprise software on there and made millions of dollars, but say la vie.
Didn't they just put out their first update like a month or so ago to fix something on Bluetooth?
Yeah, yep, to the software stuff that they were fixing things. But they have a version 2 now that has better Wi-Fi, better internal processor, things like that they fixed a lot of those as well. So the original hardware is still kicking.
It's still working. It's a small team, I think, but
yep.
Well, moving right along, the last thing from Google that we have is a disappointment to me, and for a couple reasons. Ev Leaks striked again. He's pumping out the leak.
1-2 punch.
This now is the Pixel 2. It forgoes increasingly common flagship features. One being there's not a notice of a headphone jack on the Pixel 2. Just like the HTC U11, which who is making this device is HTC. But I don't know if you can tell here from this render, but those are bezels on the front there. Look at that. A top chin and a bottom chin. Although they gain stereo speakers, which is nice. I like that. Look at the stereo speakers. That's cool. You have a forehead and a big old chin on that guy. It's rough. It's looking like the original Pixel, but at least the bottom chin has a speaker there and not just a huge chin of nothing. So they don't have dual cameras. They have a single camera, which I was fine with if it's great, but it's hard to look at this phone and not think 2015 when all the phones out now are the 18.9 by 9. Maybe this is, the U11 is still a great phone and it's got a lot of great things going for it. And you can squeeze this one as well. So, maybe there'll be great things, but it's all about the software design, and that's what they're going to push.
Yeah.
And it's still going to be an incredible phone. It's just maybe a little less exciting than we thought. It was looking like a beautiful phone. Now it's like, okay, it's still nice, but we'll see. It's just not what the market's doing right now.
But everybody's going to the full screen. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the phones that have the dual speaker, right on the front. That don't try to do like the Apple's doing on the bottom type thing.
Yeah, no, that's
on the bottom.
And
the next a little bit better experience.
Best speakers that I've heard on a phone was the Nexus 6. It was so good.
And I kind of like the chins. It's something to hold on to that you're not touching the touch screen. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of sad that iPhone is taking it away.
Yeah, it's got super small side panels. See, I'm okay with having, I don't know. I think that I really like how I would be fine with the bottom chin, but not having a top chin and doing a cutaway display. So you have something to hold on the bottom with your hand.
Right.
And then not having a top point. Because I've seen that with phones that they have a bottom chin you can kind of hold on to. That's where the speaker is.
Yeah.
And then the top has a cutout. I like that design.
That's another awesome phone or whatever. What was that one called? The
Essential phone?
Yeah, the Essential phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of had something like that.
It does. It had a cutout for the top as well. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing any judgment.
Till it comes out too, because who knows if this is a leak phone that was set to steer people the wrong direction too.
Yeah. So this is saying VentureBeat, guy, if you're asking, it says VentureBeat can confidently report that it is opting away with the headphone jack.
Still not a deal breaker.
So, not a deal breaker for a lot of people, but Guy was saying that that's a bummer for him. So I understand that's going to be a bummer for a lot of people. The Pixel still had a terrible DAC in it. It was not a good DAC comparatively to a lot of phones. It's a pretty bummer, but I don't know. What are your all's thoughts otherwise? Is this a bummer for you guys, or still exciting phone? Or
I mean, their last phone was kind of a bummer, design-wise style, but it was still one of the best phones ever because of the software and the hardware specs inside. So, we see the design. We don't know what they're packing inside there. Maybe they have some tricks up their sleeve.
Android 7.1.2.
Oh my goodness.
They've got that killer software feature. I mean, it's like all the other phones, what is the V20 had 7.1.1, like, a couple months after the Pixel. I mean, they're going to have to release Android, the next version of Android, to everyone else. And if they want to stay competitive and make money. So I'm not, they need to get rid of those bezels. I mean,
well, but to their, praise, the Pixel's still one of the fastest phones you can get right now.
Yeah. Even a year later.
And it has, an 821 and not an 835. And it's still one of the fastest phones out because it doesn't have crapware on it. The optimization of the chipset's better. And it just runs smoother. That's the reason to get a Pixel. If you want a phone that's going to work and it's going to be in the Android ecosystem for a long time, get that one.
So you're saying that a single hardware platform with a optimized software platform is better?
100% better, yes.
Apple.
What I would want is that I love Android and I love the differences between all the platforms, but where's the line that Google can draw to say you have to do this? It's a murky line. They could do a little bit more to say, like, Samsung, that's ridiculous that you put this much on here. What about just this? They would, I don't know. So that's where I'm like a little bit of communism built in into the.
Well, here's the surprise. We're going to come out with that changed Android with the new kernel that's not Linux. Because they're kind of locked themselves into anybody being able to do whatever they want because it's, 90% open source. So, when you put Android on your phone, you can hack and slash the source code to your heart's content, because it's your phone. You can lock it to your hardware. You can make it your own. And that's the Achilles heel, but also why Android is awesome, because you can optimize it to your phone and hardware, and you can make it great a la Pixel, or you can make it sucky a la, Samsung Bixby.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, what's year-to-date depreciation of the phone is that the Pixel's still running smoothly, and that, like a S7, you're going to have to clear a lot of crap off your phone to keep it running effectively speed-wise. So, it's a thing where it has better RAM management. It has better system optimization. So we'll see. I'm still excited for it. I was just a little bummed out. I'm super pumped for the stereo speakers. Honestly, like, for me and the way I use a phone, I would actually prefer stereo speakers than like super small bezels. Like, that's more exciting to me. And because I was bummed that all the new phones lost, bezels just to get crappy down-facing speakers. So I'm kind of excited. I think they could have made it a little smaller. It looks pretty. I mean, they don't look like they need to go that far down. Like, they could have worked with their aspect ratio a little bit, but we get what we get. So we'll see. Any other thoughts?
I mean, that Note 8, man, with that screen and that stylus is going to be a killer. But I'm hoping right now eBay, the Note 7 fan edition is completely, they're going for way overpriced. They're like $700, $750. Where if it was like $350 to $400, I might bite. But yeah, that's just way too expensive for a a refurbished phone. So, but I mean, this is third-party people buying it from Korea or buying it from India and then selling it on eBay. So they're trying to make a buck. But hopefully once the Note 8 comes out, then it
could regulate out.
You could actually pick up a Note 7 and be just fine, which I may do once that comes out. So, because I'm not paying $1,000 for a Note 8 unless they do some sort of buy one get one, and my wife wants to upgrade. But it's pretty wild. So,
well, that's where the Pixels 2 is going to be, right? Around 1,000.
Right. Yeah,
because it's hard to tell, but yeah, probably probably be 800
for the XL anyway.
Depending if you have the the Pixel 1 XL was 850. So yeah, I mean,
so probably 800 some.
Depends on how, because LG's making the Pixel XL too. So
HTC.
Well, that's not what GSM Arena said.
Okay, because
they said HTC was making the original and.
That's interesting.
Okay. Oh yeah, no. This time around, the LG has been tasked with producing the larger device. So are LG making the XL and HTC making the regular version?
Yep.
That's weird. That is odd.
But are they going to have feature parity and both be squeezable? Which is, I don't know.
HTC is a squeezable.
They might make one have it and one not. That'd be weird,
right?
Oh well, we gotta wait and see. It's something to look forward to
next time, folks, for the next squeezable phone news.
Those are the intricacies of the actual launch that you get to see and be like, oh, that's what they were doing.
Here's one for the screenshot.
Let me see if I can squeeze my iPhone guts out.
Yeah. So you got the new iPhone, LG V30, Pixel 2, and Note 8 vying for your wallets. The 800 plus club. We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be bundle-tastic. They're going to be like, oh, hey, we're bundling an SD card. Oh, hey, we're bundling a VR headset. Oh, hey, we're bundling all that crap. So lots of stuff going to be happening this holiday season. So it'll be very, very cool.
Well, to wrap up here, what do you guys have going on? Anything exciting that you'd like to tell the world of tech talkers?
Well, not a whole lot right now. I'm still testing some games on the Surface Pro, so the Surface Pro 2017 i7 model, and just keep a lock on the channel. I'm going to be doing a giveaway probably pretty soon here, and just doing lots of gaming, having fun. So
nice, cool. How's the Maryland going for you, Jeremy?
It's hot. It's very hot. It's supposed to get colder in a few days, but otherwise it's good on the beach. Nice on the beach. 10 degrees cooler. So otherwise, not much. We're trying to come out with a couple things that we're going to help people out with, and be rocking from there.
Nice. Well, cool. Thank you guys so much for talking tech with the bros. It has been fun. Always a pleasure. For tuning in on Thursdays, sometimes later when I can't get my act together, and Fridays as well. So thanks for hanging out, talking some tech in the afternoons with the Heslop 3. It has been fun. And until next time, you know what you should all do? You should have a great day.